Hello, my friends. Welcome to my channel. This is Nefer Kefri, the Positive Vibes Artist. I'm here with my flip through of my pages for May of 2023 in my A5 Hobonichi cousin. And I'll be giving you the lowdown of where I got images from, where the paint or inks come from, and stickers and washi to the best of my memory. Now for May, what I decided to do was to go with the theme of animals and nature because I'm in the Western Hemisphere. I live in Houston, Texas. So of course this is springtime for us, although here in Houston it's, summer already. We barely get a spring, maybe like a week in February, and then it gets hot. So these images come from a desk calendar that Hay House puts out every year of affirmations by Louise Hay. And so I just went through and cut out the more spring-looking images, and I decorated them in my pages for May. The background here I painted with a watercolor brush. I used water-based inks by Ferris Wheel Press. And these colors, the dark green is Edward's Garden. This pinkish color here is the Fluttering Heart. And then the yellow is Freshly Squeezed Sunshine. And then over here, these are also all the same colors. And then I also added Midway the Magnificent, and this green is Grand Central Skies. It's actually kind of like a greenish teal. And here for the second, I switched it up a bit. These inks here are not Ferris Wheel Press. These are Private Reserve, Infinity Turquoise, and Levenger. They're purple ink that comes in a cartridge. This is still from that Louise Hay calendar, and the washi is from Laura Phelps. These are just various stickers I had in my collection. And the inks here are Edward's Garden from Ferris Wheel Press, and then the Levenger purple cartridge. And here we go with May the 4th. May the Force be with you. I'm about to age myself here big time, but when Star Wars 4 A New Hope originally came out, when it was just called Star Wars, and we didn't even know there was going to be a second one, I was in junior high, and I went to go see the movie with my best friend. My dad dropped us off at the theater in downtown Waukegan, Illinois, my hometown, and we went in not really knowing what to expect. Someone has said it was going to be science fiction like Star Trek, so you've got to understand, we only basically had Star Trek and like the older shows like The Outer Limits and The Twilight Zone, both of which were mainly in black and white. We were not prepared for what we were about to see. And as that opening, what do you call it? Oh, I just had a brain fart. Great. The opening where you see all the text coming up and it looks like a high-rise building in outer space or something. We were just like, what is this? And we're reading it and we're like, whoa. So already our minds were kind of blown. And then as they went into the movie and all these weird creatures and the special effects and everything, our mouths were constantly dropping open during that whole movie. And when it was done, we waited until the final credits rolled and we both jumped up and yelled out, "That was awesome!" And we ended up going to see it, well, I did at least 6 more times. 4 of those times, my best friend went with me. It's the only movie I've ever seen on the big screen 6 times. And then second to that would be Raiders of the Lost Ark. I saw that 4 times on the big screen. But yeah, and speaking of which, every day, this section here is usually reserved for my gratitude list. I try to list 3 things a day. And I consider it very important to write your gratitude down because that feeling of gratitude that it generates in your heart, it expresses your appreciation to God and to the universe for bringing you these blessings. And it opens the door for more blessings to come in. Take my word for it. Because after I started doing this about 10 years or so ago, I mean, things changed. Things in my life got even better. And they just keep coming. And so like what I did here, since it was May the Force Be With You Day, I wrote, grateful for George Lucas, Steven Spielberg, and all the great movies they've made, especially Star Wars 4 and Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So see, it can be something really simple. It can be, I had a really great cup of coffee today. I could have had that in my gratitude for today. I didn't, but some days I do mention my coffee. Nothing wrong with that. There is nothing too small for which to be grateful. If you're grateful for it, that makes it important. That turns it into a blessing. So remember that. I really encourage you to list your gratitude. Now, this washi here is from Laura Phelps, and this is from Michaels. And I actually bought this like around, I don't know, 15 years ago or so, and I never used it. And then it was Cinco de Mayo, and I was like, oh, I remember this washi I have. I'm going to use it. So I did. And over here, May 6th, I watched the coronation of King Charles III. And the coverage was on YouTube, and it was done by, I'm looking here, reading my writing, and I can't figure out who did it. Oh yeah, ABC News. I was really embarrassed. I mean, they kept laughing. They were like turning everything into a joke. And I was like, if there's any Brits watching this, I feel really bad for them. It was really embarrassing and annoying. But that's that. That's my 2 cents worth on that. And then we go into May the 7th. And here again, another image from that calendar by Louise Hay. Here's another one. This bit I trimmed off of this. Here is an affirmation from that calendar. It did not go with this image. It was on a different image, but I used it for today, and it reads, each day is a new opportunity. I choose to make this day a great one. This is washi from Laura Phelps. And then we continue onward. And here we have washi again from Laura Phelps, and this is Cora Crea Crafts. I think this is a Windry Rose image. I'm not quite sure about that. I have so many women stickers and women pet tape. It's hard to, keep them all straight. And I like to write positive things across my page in faux calligraphy, so I have focus on what matters. And then for the next day, I wrote kindness matters. And I was focusing on being extra kind to people and trying to go the extra mile for some people. And the inks here again is that Private Reserve Infinity Turquoise that I love so much. This is Ferris Wheel Presses, the Purple Jade Rabbit, which is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I think this might be my favorite ink from them. And I don't think the camera is really picking it up too well, but it has a lovely shimmer. And this one is Tears of Sapphire. And this one's got red. I mean, look at that. Oh, I love this color so much. That's probably my second favorite. So we go on to May 10th. And I was missing Colorado. We went to Colorado in April, and I got to see my favorite uncle and my aunt and one of my cousins and his wife and his 2 children. It was a wonderful, wonderful trip, and I want to go back already. And here's another image from that Louise Hay calendar, and then another affirmation. I choose carefully the people I share my life with. Only positive, loving, joyous people are in my world. And that's hard to do, because, what they say, you can choose your friends, but you can't choose your family. And oh my God, is that true or what? So yeah, and I've gotten to the point now where I don't have to deal with, the people in my family who pull my energy down. So it's a nice release. And then over here, there is enough time and space for everything I want to do. And there's no other state as spacious as Colorado. I mean, Colorado is just, oh, it's so magnificent. If you can ever go, do go. And this washi is from Paper Minty Studio. This is from Laura Phelps Designs again. This gorgeous greenish ink is Grand Central Skies by Ferris Wheel Press. And I mention them again and again and again because I'm a Jubilee ambassador. My code is down below in the description, along with my Archer on Olive code and all of my other discount codes. So you basically save 10% and at no extra cost to you. And since they are affiliate, except for Little Joys of Bujo's Etsy shop and Kim LeBeau's watercolors, I do not get a commission on those two, but I get a tiny commission on everything else. Just full disclosure. Now here we have May 12th and the 13th. And again, I went with chicks and with lambs because I was still kind of feeling the spring vibe. And I'm grateful for no rain today because we had like 8 days of consecutive rain and it was so dark and gloomy here. I mean, I don't know about you, but the weather can really affect me sometimes. And you know, you can get that, what is it, seasonal affective disorder? Is that what they call it? SAD, you know, where it really affects your mood. Well, after 8 days of gloom, oh, I was really feeling it. It was tough. This is Grape Ice Pop from Ferris Wheel Press and some more Purple Jade Rabbit here and here. Grape Ice Pop. This is really old washi, like it's 20 years old. It's from Michael's. Really inexpensive set of washi. And then we have Mother's Day weekend is what this is. And what we did is my husband took me out a day early just because, you know, Mother's Day, the restaurants are usually, you know, chaos and you've got to wait an hour for a table. So we went out the night before and we went to a really nice Mediterranean restaurant called Olive It, which is Olive It, as in I love it. You get it? Oh, it's so good. They've got a wonderful dish there. It's a Mediterranean lamb shank. Oh, it is to die for. We both had that. Oh, it's so good. Oh, I love their food. And it's getting near dinner time as I'm filming, so I'm hungry, so now I'm thinking about food. So the next day was Mother's Day, and I wrote here, Happy Mother's Day to me. Hope my kid calls instead of texts. Because that's about all she does is just text. And then very infrequently, she did end up calling me. We had a lovely 45-minute conversation and we laughed a whole lot. And she made me really happy by telling me that she was looking for apartments here. She moved to Dallas 3 years ago to study graphic design and computer animation at the university there. And then with COVID and everything, she's got really bad anxiety and it caused her to drop out. And her and her fiance now want to come back here. And he's a chef in a very high-class restaurant. They've got a sister restaurant here in town, and they've already offered him a job there. And they said, whenever you can move here, you have a job waiting. So it's really awesome. So now I've got to go check out these places for her to see what they, you know, what they look like and how the neighborhood is. And then we'll figure it out from there. But I'm really excited about that. It's just the best news. She gave me that news on Mother's Day. Talk about what a fantastic gift, you know? And then the next day, my Jubilee Ambassador package came, and it included this ink here. This is Malibu Blush. I'll see if I can zoom in quite a bit just so you can see it. This is a matte ink. Most of the inks I have from Ferris Wheel Press are shimmers. This one is not. Still a gorgeous ink. It does not show up too well on the cream colored Tomo River paper of the Hobonichi cousin, but it is really pretty on white paper. I've used it in my Archer and Olive, and it's just really, it's a gorgeous color. I love it. Then on the 16th, we went to the Cubs game. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm originally from Waukegan, Illinois. That's to the north of Chicago. So basically, I'm a, quote, North Sider. And so North Siders typically are Cubs fans, while the South Siders in Chicago are typically Sox fans. So I grew up a Cubs fan. I'm a third-generation Cubs fan. And the Cubs and the Houston Astros used to both be in the National League. The Astros moved out of the National League a couple of years back, and they're in the American League now, so we only get to see them now in interleague play. So the Cubs tend to come into town about once every other year for one series. And so I got to see them. I was really, really happy. Cubs won the World Series in 2016. Oh my God, what a year that was. I saw every single game, every single game. I prayed so hard for them. And when they won it all, talk about crying. Oh my God, I cried. I cried mainly because my parents were no longer here, my grandfather. And I'm going to start crying all over again. Sorry. Okay, get a grip. Get a grip, Neffer. Get a grip. Okay. Whew. Here I am outside of Minute Maid Park here in downtown Houston. And this is evidently, this barred area here is where they have the 2022 World Series trophy. And I guess they opened this up during the day for people who want to go and see the trophy. Unfortunately, when the Cubs won it in 2016, I no longer lived in the Chicago area, so I never got to see the trophy in person, which is really sad. And this little sticker is from, excuse me, from Coffee Monsters Co. This is her Gemini sticker. I am a Gemini. And this is Laura Phelps again, and this is the washi tape shop. I have a discount code for you all down in the description for the washi tape shop where you can save 10%. These were our seats at, excuse me, Minute Maid Park. We were 12 rows off the field, and this is the Cubs dugout right here. And I've got another picture in here. That's Patrick Wisdom, and I don't know who that guy is. Patrick Wisdom was one of our players who unfortunately didn't play in this particular game that we saw. And we ended up losing terribly anyway. So, you know, it was a tough loss, but what can you do? You win some, you lose some. This season, the Cubs are mainly losing. But I lived through the 70s as a Cubs fan, so I saw much worse than this season. Let's see here. And then the next day, you know, I started off by saying, I feel quite sluggish today. You know? And it was just from the game and all the excitement and the emotions and everything. And, you know, it was the best seats I ever had for any ball game. Just 12 rows off the field. It was incredible. It really was. And sitting in the visitor section is just so much fun because it's like being at Wrigley Field because most of the people here are Cubs fans, except for these two guys. But just about everybody else sitting there was a Cub fan. You can see that's a Cub shirt. That's a Cub shirt. Rizzo. Oh my God, I miss Rizzo. He played first base for us. He was on the World Series team. I go on before I make myself cry again. Then we have washi tape from London Gifties. This is not London Gifties. This is just some sort of bargain washi tape I found. But this is, and this, and I said, the Rockies are calling me. Oh my gosh, because I really miss my family. You know, it's so great to see them, and then you go back home, and then you just start missing them all over again. It's like a vicious cycle. And my aunt and uncle are not technologically savvy, so they don't have an iPhone. They can't do FaceTime. They can't do Zoom. You know, so it's just phone calls. So that just makes it kind of hard. He's 84, and he's my mom's baby brother. He's the last person left of her generation. So it's going to be really, really sad when he goes. But he's doing really good. He still goes out hiking and stuff. 84. And when we visited, he almost out-hiked me. I have 2 bad knees, so that's my excuse as to why this 84-year-old man almost outdid me. I was telling him, stop it, Uncle Gilbert, you're embarrassing me. And he was like, come on, let's keep going. And I'm like, oh my God, where's the car? And I began to deep clean my office. I run a spiritual service-based business, and I do card readings, and I do positive candle work for clients. I have clients around the world. I've been in business since 1998. I have a separate office. The room I'm filming this in used to be my daughter's bedroom, and it is now my studio. But prior to this, my office I had allowed it to get so cluttered, I basically couldn't work in there anymore. So I decluttered it over like a 3-day period beginning on the 19th. and I was able to turn it back into my office again. So then I took my laptop out of this room. It's now in my office. So now this room that used to belong to my daughter is now my art studio. Yes, complete. Nothing else goes on in here except for journaling and art. And I sit up on the bed and read, and I film my YouTube videos here, take my Instagram pictures here. I mean, it's just awesome. And I don't have to be moving my laptop out of the way or other work-related stuff out of the way. So I'm really, really happy about that. Oh, I have here, I wish I lived at the Broadmoor. The Broadmoor is the hotel we stayed at. My husband owns a franchise of Always Best Care, and they provide in-home care for seniors to keep seniors in their own homes for as long as possible. And they have a national convention like about every 18 months or so, and for this year they scheduled it for Colorado Springs, and I flipped out and lost my mind because that's where my uncle lives. And so they put us up at the Broadmoor, which is the most expensive place to stay there. And I mean, this place has ruined me for all other hotels. And if you ever go to Colorado Springs and you have the money, stay at the Broadmoor. Oh my gosh, we had one of their Lakeview suites. It was incredible. That room had 3 windows, each of which, no wait, 4 windows, each of which afforded us a slightly different view of the mountains and a lake. And it was just incredible. We had a chandelier in our room, and yeah, I want to live there. The staff was amazing. It was just so awesome. But yeah, so that's why I say I wish I lived at the Broadmoor. And then this is my favorite washi. It might be my favorite washi of all time. I don't know. It came in a subscription box, and I want to say it came in one of the very first subscription boxes that Archer and Olive ever did. So if you have a roll of this washi and you don't want it, please message me on my socials. I'll be more than happy to buy it off of you and pay for shipping, because I just love it. I just love it. And I've been hoarding it like crazy. Yeah, take it out for, you know, special occasions and stuff. So, here we go with just some general washi stickers from wherever. I think I bought these at Little Craft Place, which is an awesome, awesome shop that's only 20 minutes from my house, and it is so dangerous for your pocketbook. It's wall-to-wall washi tape. I'm not kidding. It's overwhelming. First time I went in there, 4 hours were gone before I even knew it. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I got to get home. My husband's going to be worried. Now, here we went to the zoo, and this was part of our anniversary celebration. Our anniversary was actually on May the 22nd, 28 years. Can you believe? I can't believe it. But we made it, yay. So my husband took me to the Houston Zoo, because I love the zoo, and we hadn't been in a long time. And it was really, really nice. I mean, they had a new bald eagle exhibit there, and they have 2 bald eagles, and they have this nest there for them. So I guess they're hoping that they have babies. I don't know. I can't tell the difference between a male and a female bald eagle, so I don't know if they were both, you know, the same gender or not. But then we have the king and queen of the jungle, of course. And this guy, he came right up to the glass as I was preparing to take a picture of him. He was only 6 feet away from me. And I was just like, wow. And look at him. Does he look hungry to you? He kind of looked hungry to me. I was like, oh my God. I'm so thankful for this glass, you know. So yeah, but that was a really nice trip to the zoo. And here we saw the tiger. The tiger was just gorgeous. I mean, look at these colors on him here. And I did quote William Blake's poem, not realizing that he spelled tiger with a Y. So there you go. But oh well. This washi, this is from a recent sub box from Archer and Olive. Well, no, it's from their wild box, not a sub box. It was like one of their seasonal kits that they've begun to do. So And then we have these animal stickers that I was using, and we'll see them again in a couple of pages or so for my anniversary. These are from the washi tape shop. And this is really old Michael's washi. This is an ocelot. And this giraffe just started to eat off the tree when I snapped this picture, and I was like, wow, that's awesome. So I got a really cool picture of him eating a leaf. And then we saw the elephants, and they have a 2-part elephant enclosure at the Houston Zoo because they have to keep the bull elephants, the males, separate from the females and separate from the juveniles mainly. And they had, in with the juvenile enclosure, they had a total of 9 elephants. I've never seen 9 elephants all together in a group like that. It was really incredible. And one of the little babies, this was the youngest one, he decided to put on a show. He started to stick his legs through the wire there, and he started chewing on it and being kind of silly. He was funny. He was so cute. And then these are the other elephants that were in that same enclosure. So it's really cool. We did see monkeys there, but I didn't get any pictures of them. And then we saw turtles. Turtles are my favorite animal, so, of course they have to dominate the trip to the zoo. And they have a new exhibit there of animals from the Galapagos Islands. So you have the giant tortoises from the Galapagos there. And they had, I want to say they had 5, at least 5 that I could see. And these are just pond turtles that were in a different exhibit there. And here's their one and only sea turtle. At least it was the only one that I saw there in the tank. And this, again, these were all parts of the Galapagos exhibit, all this stuff here. Well, no, the spotted stingray was in the pond with these turtles. But it's a fabulous exhibit, and they have a tunnel you can walk through, and the water goes around the tunnel. So, like, seals can swim across the top of it, and that's what they were doing. I mean, not seals, they were sea lions. We're swimming across the top of it. It was really cool. So that was a whole lot of fun, and seeing my favorite animal, the sea turtle. So I just love this picture here. I thought that turned out so good. Let's see. And all the fish. It was just beautiful. And this dark picture here that you really can't see too well, those are jellyfish. So, and they had them in like a specially lit tank. Yeah, it's probably not going to show up too well. Sorry about that. And then we had penguins. Penguins are my second favorite animal, so I was really happy. And again, this was also part of the Galapagos exhibit. So it was really cool, and our zoo did a really great job on that exhibit. We were really impressed with it. We had to wait in line to get inside, and then because of COVID, they only let in a certain number of people at a time. So the line was super, super long, but they were letting in enough people that we only had to wait probably about 15 minutes, I think, maybe 20. My husband went and bought us an icy, so we were all good. These are pictures from the Cubs game. This is Ian Happ, who is batting left-handed here. He's a switch hitter. And this is Suzuki, one of our really good players. Patrick Wisdom, who didn't play in that game. Unfortunately, he's really good. And as I was taking this picture, I didn't even notice this guy until I saw the picture on my phone. But I was like, does that not look like a 45-year-old Colin Firth? I saw this picture and I was like, oh my God. And I didn't even notice him at the time because I was busy focusing in on Ian, as I was just like, 45-year-old Colin Firth was also there at the game. I blame CERN, the CERN particle collider, which I mentioned a couple of times in here. I don't know if you guys read up on that or not, but, they found the God particle and who knows what all else. And I'm telling you, if you Google CERN particle collider and the Mandela effect did not exist until CERN went online. And I really believe that CERN particle collider is screwing with time somehow. Really. But here we go. May 22nd, our 28th anniversary. And these Huggy animal washies are from the washi tape shop. And this very thin one is also washi tape. Actually, this whole page is washi tape shop. And yeah, you know, I've been married 28 years, and I can tell you the two biggest lessons I've learned in my marriage is, number one, compromise. You have to be willing to compromise, and also forgiveness. Forgiveness is huge, because without that, you're not going to be married very long, you know? So that is my advice to people. Be willing to compromise and be forgiving. Then the next day I had a tummy ache. Don't know why. But here we have, these stickers are from the Sticky Club. It's from a mystery box that they just did. And I was looking for anniversary themed stickers because we basically celebrated for several days. And like, this is now the 24th, 2 days after our anniversary, and we go out for dinner at Babin's, which is a really, really excellent New Orleans style seafood restaurant, Cajun cooking and stuff. And, oh, it's so delicious. We just pigged out. And so it was really cool because the package came the day I was doing this page, and I needed anniversary or wedding style stickers. And so here they were in the mystery pack, and I was like, yes. So I used those to decorate the page. And so then the next day was the 25th, and now we're no longer celebrating our anniversary. All that is over. And so celebrations have concluded until my birthday in June. My birthday is the 19th. I cannot believe I'm going to be 60, and I don't feel it. You know, my body kind of does a little bit in places, but as far as my spirit goes, my attitude, my zest for life, I don't feel 60 at all. But what is 60 supposed to feel like, you know? I don't know. And then we have, oh, the headline here, it seemed like a good idea at the time. How many times have we felt this? No, what happened was, there's a Elixir Kava Lounge right near my house, about 7 minutes away. It's a non-alcoholic bar, and they serve mocktails. They are delicious. And they put kava and kratom in them, and they're really, really good, really yummy. And they had approached me about doing card readings there. And I've run my business online since 1998. And in the beginning, I did start off by seeing people in person in a New Age shop I used to work in when we lived in Corpus Christi, Texas. But by the time I left that job and was just seeing clients in my house, you know, my clientele had really dwindled down. And then we moved to Houston, and so I lost all my clientele except for the few who stayed with me, because I told them, I'll just do your readings in email, you know. So I would type up the reading and send it to them, and then that's how I built up my online business. So for the past 25 years, I've only been doing readings online, not face-to-face. And it's a very different situation when you are reading face-to-face, because your client is able to ask you questions. They're able to give you immediate feedback like, oh yeah, that's really right. Or I don't know what you're talking about there, you know, whatever. And so I wasn't used to that. And I was so nervous the day before. I was like, oh, I never should have agreed to do this. I haven't done it in so long. I don't think I can do it anymore, because it's a different beast. Because, you know, when I'm reading at home for someone, I can take a break. I can go get, you know, a glass of water. I can play with my dog for a few minutes and then go back to the cards. You can't do that when you're reading for a person face to face, you know. Plus, I was only going to be there for 3 hours. And so it was a matter of me having to attract enough people to do readings in those 3 hours for it to pay for my time, which meant I had to do a minimum of 5 readings to make as much as I would during 3 hours of work time on my internet-based business. And I did manage to do that. I did do 5 readings there, but it was tough doing 5 readings in just 3 hours. because readings are kind, they're tiring, they're draining, but it worked out really great. I was able to journal the next day. Everything went great, and I was really happy, and I just felt really good being out there in public again. It was just fun, and it just made me feel really good, and everyone who got a reading felt so good afterwards. And that's the main thing, because when I read for people, I don't want you to feel sad or miserable after a reading. I give readings that have advice, that have guidance. I'm not the type of reader to tell you doom or gloom. Never. And if I do see something bad coming up, I try to couch it as diplomatically and as calmly as I can, but that stuff seldom comes out in a reading. Seldom does. And yeah, it went really great. I met 3 wonderful people who all really enjoyed their readings, and then I had 2 of my friends show up, and one of whom I knew wanted to get a reading, and the other one surprised me and agreed to have her cards read, because she's really, very religious, and I thought she might not be into it and all. And no, she had her cards read, and she found it really interesting, and she really liked it. So that was cool. She has since told one of her friends, and she's asking me, when are you going to go back? Because now my friend wants a reading. And actually, the Elixir Lounge contacted me, and I will be going back in July and also in August. I can't do June because the dates they had open in June, I have prior commitments. But it was wonderful. I really enjoyed it. These washi stickers come from washi tape from the washi tape shop. This purple, I'm not sure. I think it's a Michaels, because it's an older washi. And then we have the big day, May 28th. I finally went back to painting. I'm a watercolorist. I do watercolor paintings. And for a good while, I was in some sort of a creative funk. I just couldn't get into painting again. And I think what the problem was, my printer ended up going on the fritz. And it's no longer printing. And I don't know what the problem is. And I've talked with Epson support, and they're thinking it's a sensor in the printer that reads the maintenance box, and it's reading it as being constantly full when it's not. So, if the maintenance box in the color printer is full, it won't print. You got to pop in a new maintenance box, and I've done that, and it still won't print. So I have to get a new one, and my printer costs $700, and I'm just like, I can't afford that right now. And I was just starting to go into production on my stickers. So I have a shop. It's positivevibesartist.com. It's over in Squarespace. And I just have a few sticker designs up. And I was going to put up my spring stickers when my printer went on the fritz. So I haven't been able to do that. And my husband's color printer isn't as good as my Epson was. So I can't use his to, because I would not sell that lower quality sticker to anybody. So I've been kind of down about that, and I think it really affected my creative output, because I had all these ideas for other paintings I was going to do, but they were all geared toward stickers. So they're all like seasonal designs, and I had stuff basically outlined until October. And now I'm like, well, when the heck am I going to get a printer, and when I'm going to be able to produce these stickers? So I got pretty down in the dumps about that, but May 28th, I buckled down. I got up that morning. I saw like 2 or 3 creativity YouTube videos on how to spark creativity, and I saw one on watercoloring. I finally started painting again. I had an image already inked in, ready to go. Let me just grab it here. And then I painted it. Those are my little whimsical birdhouses. And what I may do, I'm debating it. I really don't like the background, so I'm thinking I'm going to scan this, put it into Procreate, and erase the background. So it'll just be white. I don't know. I may have both versions of it eventually available as a sticker. But I thought it was cute. I like the way it turned out. I like the colors. These colors are all handmade from plants by Boulder Colors. And she's in Boulder, Colorado, or that area. And so she makes gorgeous, gorgeous paints. And they're all biodegradable. It's really awesome. But yeah, so there's that. So I'm happy to be painting again. And I haven't painted since the 28th, only because I haven't had the time I've wanted to. And then the next day was Memorial Day. So, of course, the deepest gratitude goes to our servicemen and women who made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation. And I'm very proud to say my family has 2 veterans. My Uncle Gilbert, that I visited in Colorado, was in the Air Force. And my cousin Arthur, who lives in California, is a 28-year retired Army reservist. And he's not related to my uncle. He's a cousin from my dad's side of the family. My uncle is from my mom's side. But very proud of the both of them. And then we have, the altercation. We have a dog and a cat, and our cat's 10, and the dog is 4. And the dog is an Australian Shepherd. Australian Shepherds are really hyper. Let me go back to April right quick. I have a picture of her in here. And there she is with her favorite toy, her Frisbee, which is upside down here. But she's, really hyper. That's just how Aussie Shepherds are. They're a working dog. They're very high energy. And so on this day, what happens is our cat kind of guards the downstairs water dish. And she has her own water dish and food upstairs. But she prefers to drink downstairs. And so she guards the water bowl. And then when Magic wants to drink, she basically has to clap at the cat to get her to move. And by clapping, the Aussie Shepherd will do a little hop and will land on their front paws, kind of spread out in front of them, kind of like downward dog in yoga, but not quite completely downward dog, And then Blue Star will jump away, and get out of the way, and then Magic is able to get in and get a drink. Well, Magic did that, and Blue got out of the way, and then all of a sudden Blue was like, no, I'm not going to do that. She spins around and jumps on the dog's butt. All 4 paws on the dog's butt. And Magic is bucking like a bronco and the cat's on her butt. And I was laughing so hard. That was great. And then, of course, Blue jumped off and the chase was on. So it was really funny. But that happened on the 29th, so I write about that here. This is washi tape from Michaels. Again, it's really old. I actually went through the past couple months. I've been rolling my washi tape collection. I'm actually putting a little video together about that, but I put them on washi boards because I've got the washi drawers, and I was thinking I've got so many small art supplies, and little tiny sticker books and that type of thing that are kind of like laying around and stuff. And I was like, they would be so much better organized in these washi tape drawers. So I decided to put my entire collection on boards, and it took me literally 2 months. I just finished a week ago. And so I've got a video I'm putting together about my trials and tribulations in doing that. But it's just so much better. So much better. So there we go for Memorial Day weekend. And this ink here, this is one of the newer colors. This is called Twinkling Tea Party by Ferris Wheel Press. And it's just gorgeous. I love it. And here we are at the end of the month. I can't believe it's June already. I mean, where's the year going? And yes, again, I blame the CERN particle collider. Completely and totally. Mark my words. So this is the Levenger purple cartridge ink and the Private Reserve Infinity Turquoise, which is just really gorgeous. And they make such a great color combination. I like to use these two together. And then these butterfly stamps and this washi down here is Notebook Therapy. This, again, I bought at Michael's many moons ago. So that's it for May. Let me know what you thought of it. And if you have any suggestions for my channel, if you'd like to see anything in particular, let me know. I'm always open to suggestions. And I thank you all very much for watching. And I ask that you subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And many, many thanks to all of my subscribers and returning viewers. I really appreciate you so much. I'm wishing you all a wonderful June ahead. And this is Nefer Kefri, the Positive Vibes Artist.